Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden rules that run, well, pretty much everything, from a huge forest to a tiny little pond. We're going to dive into the secret blueprint that connects every single living and non-living thing.
So let's just jump right in with a question. What on earth could a massive ocean and, say, a small backyard garden possibly have in common? I know, it sounds like a riddle, right? But the answer, it unlocks one of the most important ideas in all of nature.
All right, let's solve that riddle. The answer is one powerful concept, the ecosystem. Now, we hear this word thrown around all the time, but what does it actually mean?
Okay, here's the big idea. An ecosystem isn't just a place, it's a whole system, where the living stuff, plants and animals, and the non-living stuff, like air, water, and sunlight, all connect with each other. And the most important word there is interact. It's this constant back and forth that makes the whole thing work.
Now, when you hear ecosystem, I bet you're picturing something huge, right? A rainforest, maybe a desert. And yeah, those are definitely ecosystems. But what's so cool is that this idea works on pretty much any scale you can think of. So for instance, a single pond is its own little world, a complete ecosystem with fish, plants, water, and sunlight all doing their thing. Even a garden counts. And then of course you have the giants, a forest, a desert, an entire ocean. The main takeaway here is that the rules of the game are the same, whether the system fits in your backyard or stretches across a whole continent.
So how do these systems actually tick? Well, it really helps to break them down into two main parts. First up, let's talk about all the living components. The fancy scientific term for this is biotic. Just think bio, like in biology, the study of life. Easy enough, right? And the biotic world is, wow, it's so much more than you might think. Of course, you've got the obvious things like plants and animals, but you also have fungi, which are kind of like nature's cleanup crew, breaking down all the old stuff. And then you have the real powerhouses you can't even see, microorganisms. I mean, a single spoonful of dirt can have billions of bacteria, all playing a super important part.
Okay, so that's the living side of things. But all of this life needs a stage, a place to exist. And that brings us to the non-living parts. The scientific term for this is abiotic. That little a at the beginning just means without, so literally without life.
And this list right here, this is the foundation for everything. You just can't have life without these abiotic factors. Sunlight provides all the energy. Water is, well, essential for everything. Then you've got air, soil for nutrients, and the temperature, which basically decides who gets to live where. None of these things are alive, but without them, nothing would be.
So we have our two teams, right? Team Biotic, all the living players, and Team Abiotic, the physical world they live in. So why is it so important to think of them as these two separate but connected groups?
It all comes down to this one simple, crucial point. You absolutely cannot have one without the other. The real magic isn't in the lists of things, it's in the dance between them. A biotic plant needs abiotic sunlight and water. A biotic animal breathes abiotic air. They are completely, totally dependent on each other.
Okay, I think you've got it. So how about a little pop quiz? Just a quick fire round to make sure this all makes sense. Ready?
First one is, a bird. Is that living or non-living?
That's living. Yep, a bird is a classic biotic part of any ecosystem.
Awesome. Okay, next up, water. What do you think? Living or non-living? You got it. That's non-living. Water is absolutely essential, but it isn't alive. It's a perfect example of an abiotic factor. And last one, sunlight. Living or non-living?
And that is non-living. It's pure energy, the fuel that powers almost every ecosystem on the planet. And boom, just like that, you now know how to spot the basic building blocks of any ecosystem around you.
And that really brings us to the final thought. Now that you know what to look for, the biotic parts, the abiotic parts, and how they all connect, I want you to take a moment today and just look outside. Don't just see a patch of grass or a tree. See the whole system at work. So that leaves just one last question. What's the ecosystem right outside your window?